The simple truth is that our infrastructure is collapsing and the American people know it. Every day they drive on roads with unforgiving potholes and over bridges that are in disrepair. They wait in traffic jams. They ride on railroads and subways that arrive late and are overcrowded. They see airports bursting at the seams. They worry that a local levee could fail in a storm. Everybody knows what's going on. It's true in Vermont and it's true in 49 other states. But year after year, nothing happens, and we continue to grossly underfund our nation's physical infrastructure. That has got to change, and that is why I'm introducing the Rebuild America Act, which will put $1 trillion over 5 years into modernizing the infrastructure of our country. For most of our history, the U.S. proudly led the world in building innovative infrastructure, from inland canals to transcontinental railroads. We implemented huge flood control projects and embarked on an ambitious rural electrification program. We built modern airports and the interstate highway system. In terms of infrastructure, the United States of America was the envy of the world. Sadly, that is no longer the case. Today, the U.S. spends just 2.4% of GDP on infrastructure, less than at any point in the last 20 years. Meanwhile, Europe spends twice that amount, and China spends close to 4 times that rate. We are falling further and further behind, and that is not where the United States of America should be. The World Economic Forum now ranks our overall infrastructure at 12th in the world, down from 7th just a decade ago. Just how bad is the situation? 1 out of every 9 bridges in our country is structurally deficient, and nearly a quarter are functionally obsolete. Almost 1/3 of our roads are in poor or mediocre condition, and more than 42% of urban highways are congested. Urban and suburban transit systems are struggling to address deferred maintenance, even as ridership steadily increases. Much of our nation's rail system is obsolete, even though energy-efficient railroads move more freight than ever, and Amtrak's ridership has never been higher. America's airports are bursting at the seams and still rely on antiquated 1960s radar technology because Congress chronically underfunds deployment of a new satellite-based air traffic control system. More than 4,000 of the nation's 84,000 dams are now deficient, and nearly 9% of all levees are likely to fail during a major flood. Much of our drinking water systems are nearing the end of their useful lives, and our wastewater treatment plants dump billions of gallons of raw sewage into our nation's rivers and lakes each year when old pipes burst or plants fail during heavy rains. America's aging electrical grid suffers from hundreds of major power failures and interruptions each year, many of which are avoidable. We rank 16th in the world in broadband access, which is necessary for 21st century commerce, telemedicine, education, and public policy. Perhaps most telling, we even underfund the national park system that helps preserve our nation's history, heritage, and natural wonders. All told, the American Society of Civil Engineers tell us that we need to invest an additional $1.6 trillion just to get our infrastructure in a state of good repair by 2020. My office worked closely with the Society of Civil Engineers when writing the Rebuild America Act, and I'm very pleased that they are here with us today. This legislation is enormously important in making our country more efficient, more productive, and safer. But it will also have a profound impact upon our economy and the lives of many, many millions of working people. While we have seen in recent years improvement in our economy, the reality is that unemployment in this country remains much, much too high. The real unemployment rate as opposed to the official unemployment rate. And the real rate counts those who have given up looking for work and are working part-time when they want to work full-time. That rate is 11.2%. Youth unemployment in this country is at 18%, and African American youth unemployment is close to 30%. We need to create millions of decent paying jobs. We need to do it soon, and this legislation will do just that. What the economists tell us over and over again is that if you are serious about creating jobs, the fastest way, the most effective way to do it is through rebuilding infrastructure. Even by conservative estimates, the Rebuild America Act will put 13 million Americans to work in good-paying jobs, jobs that cannot be shipped offshore or outsourced. Moreover, each and every project will require equipment, suppliers, and services, and 13 million Americans will spend their hard-earned salaries in their community supporting local businesses. It is no wonder that groups from across the political spectrum, from organized labor to the U.S. Chamber of Commerce to the International Monetary Fund, agree that investing in infrastructure makes sound economic sense. When if infrastructure spending goes up, GDP and household incomes grow. With that, let me thank the American Society of Engineers, Civil Engineers, not just for being here today, but for year after year after year. They are the people who keep telling us in report after report just how serious the infrastructure crisis is. And I want to thank them for their help on this legislation.